This video is to help you get ready for your quiz. So your quiz is going to look like this, and the directions say, place the appropriate radian measure in the rectangles, the degree measures in the circles, and the coordinates in the parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my degrees, and they want me to do my degrees in my circle. So I'm going to start right here at the very first one, and this is 0 degrees. I know the whole circle is 360 degrees. Then I'm going to remember that half of 360 is 180, and half of 180 is 90. That means each quadrant is 90. So 90 plus 90 is 180. 180 plus 90 is 270. From there, I like to go cut my quadrants in half and do my 45s. So half of 90 is 45 degrees. 45 plus 45 is 90. 90 plus 45 is 135 degrees. 135 plus 45 is 180. 180 plus 45 is 225. 225 plus 45 is 270. 270 plus 45 is 315. How do you see that one? From there, I just remember that I'm counting everything else by 30s. So the first circle I have left is 30. 30 plus 30 is 60. 60 plus 30 is 90. 90 plus 30 is 120. 120 plus 30 is 150. 150 plus 30 is 180. 180 plus 30 is 210. 210 plus 30 is 240. 240 plus 30 is 270. 270 plus 30 is 300. And 300 plus 30 is 330. So I always do my degrees first. After I do my degrees, I'm going to go do my radians, and they want my radians to be in the rectangle. They give you two boxes because I have 0 pi and we have 2 pi. So the whole time around the circle is 2 pi, so half of 2 pi is a whole pi. And I'm going to half this. Half of a whole pi is a half a piece of pie. So I have 1/2, I have another half, and I have a third half. So this one down here is 3 halves. 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves. From there, I'm going to remember the trick that Miss L taught me, and she taught me my arms go like this, 6, 4, 3, and then they go 6, 4, 3. So I'm going to go do 6, 4, and 3. And I'm going to do that all the way around my circle. 6, 4, and 3. And then I'm going to go the other way, the exact same thing. 6, 4, and 3. And the shortcut for memorizing is we said everything in quadrant 1, all of this is quadrant 1, has a pi on top. So these are all just pi. Pi, pi, and pi. And our shortcut for quadrant 2, we said everything on top is 1 less than the number on the bottom. So 1 less than 3 would be 2. Slap a pi on it. 1 less than 4 is 3. Slap a pi on it. 1 less than 6 is 5. Don't forget your pi. Okay. In quadrant 3, we said it wasn't 1 less, but it's 1 more than the number on the bottom. So 1 more than 6 is 7. 1 more than 4 is 5. 1 more than 3 is 4. Don't forget your pi's. Now we're going to move over here to quadrant 4. For quadrant 4, I couldn't really find a pattern, so we just made up a little story, and our story involved 7-Eleven. So we go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 days a week. And on all 5 of those days, we want a Coke in the morning. So 5 days a week, we stop at the 7-Eleven and buy a Coke. So we have 5 days a week. We stop at the 7-Eleven and we buy a Coke. Radians are done. So remember, 6, 4, 3, 6, 4, 3. Everything in quadrant 1 is 1 pi. Everything in quadrant 2 is 1 less than the bottom. Everything in quadrant 3 is 1 more than the bottom. And 5 days a week, we go to the 7-Eleven. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is our ordered pairs. And in order to do your ordered pairs, you have to remember that this is a unit circle. And because it's a unit circle, the radius equals 1. Because the radius is 1, this point over here to my right is 1, 0. And the point over here to the left is -1, 0. The point above the origin is 0, 1, and the point below the center is 0, -1. From here, to get these missing 3, I taught you the left-hand trick. So let's go over the left-handed trick again. The first thing we have to remember about these 3 points is that they're all fractions and they're all over 2. So I can go ahead and do that for all 3 of these. They're all fractions and they're all over 2. And in the left-hand trick, we learned that my pinky represents 0 degrees, my ring finger is going to represent the 30, my middle finger is going to represent 45, and my pointer finger is going to represent 60, and my thumb is 90 degrees. So if I wanted to know what is the ordered pair for 30 degrees, I take my 30-degree finger, which is my ring finger, and I go like this. The number of fingers up top will give me the numerator for the first one. So I have 3 up top, so I'm going to remember that it's square root of 3. I have 1 number left on the bottom, so 1 goes here. So square root of 3 gives me the number on top for the x, the number on the bottom gives me the number on top for the y. Now we're going to go do 45. 45 degrees is your middle finger, so I pull in the middle finger. I've got a 2 on top, and I've got a 2 on bottom. That means they're both going to have square roots of 2. Okay, now I'm going to go pull in my 60 degree. Up top I have a 1, and on the bottom I have a 3. So I've got a 1 and the square root of 3. Once your first quadrant is done, you're going to take everything over here and you're going to reflect it. When you reflect it across the y, these numbers stay exactly the same. It's just all the x values are now going to be negatives. So I'm going to go ahead and write 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. Make the x a negative. Same numbers, x became negative. I'm going to go write square root of 2 over 2. Square root of 2 over 2. Same numbers, make the x a negative. One more time. I'm going to go take these 2 numbers and reflect them over. So I have square root of 3 over 2, 1/2, make the x a negative. Now I'm going to go take my ordered pairs in quadrant 2 and reflect them to quadrant 3. When I reflect to quadrant 3, it's exact same numbers, but x and y are both going to be negative. So I'm going to reflect this way now. So I'm going to have square root of 3 over 2, 1/2, negative, negative. And I'm reflecting this way now across the x. So square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, and they're both negative. Okay, last one. I'm going to reflect across the x, and I get 1/2 square root of 3 over 2, negative, negative. We're going to come back over here. When I come back over here to quadrant 4, I'm going to take quadrant 1 and I'm going to flip it over the x. Again, exact same numbers, but this time the y's are going to be negative. So when I reflect my 30 degrees over, I end up getting square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2, make the y negative. Same numbers as above, square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, make the y a negative. One more time, 1/2 square root of 3 over 2, make the y a negative. We've just completed our unit circle.